Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Guild Ball match report. These are the cards I've drawn for tonight's match. Won't touch the hair, get back in there, stick to the plan, garage match, and go for the knees. And what a treat we have! A Hunter's Mirror match. I lost the roll, I believe, and got told to kick, which is fine. That's what I would have wanted to do anyway, I feel. I selected J-Car, Zarola, Scather, who's kicking, Snow, Cena, and Veteran Minx. Bad Hunters selected Veteran Minx, Cena, Zarola, Theron, Original Hearn, and Fahad. The terrain is a forest and 3 obstacles. Things don't get off to a great start when it turns out Scather can't hit the broadside of one of those obstacles. Her first kick scatters over here, and her second over here. Could have been better. Theron grabs the ball. He misses an arrow to the knee at Scather. He hits the pinned, sadly, and then passes the ball over to the bear. This is where his forest was put down. So that's annoying, but it's nothing Scather can't handle. I work out that if I legendary, and I can still get the ball, so I'm going to move in, hit Theron, get the dodge into Zarola, hit Zarola, get a dodge into the bear, tackle the bear, get the dodge out, and score the goal, and then dodge back around. My opponent doesn't have any momentum, because he used his heroic to give Zarola the Midnight Offering blessing thing, so I'm not worried about any counterattacks. Basically, I just need one success on each of my attacks as I bounce around these guys. You'll note that there's no fast ground. I forgot to put out my fast ground. That would have meant that Scather wouldn't have had to spend one influence to sprint over to Theron. And I probably would have done it this way, I would have put it back here to increase the threat range of my bear. As you can see, things did not quite go to plan. I got the first hit on Theron and dodged over to be in range to get over to Zarola, and I missed that attack. And then I missed several other attacks, and basically had no more influence to do the triangle dodging thing that I needed to do to get the goal. So I tried to get back as far away as I could, and this is all I managed. I missed a lot of attacks, generated very little momentum, and did not get a first turn goal. That was an extremely poor activation. Made worse by hindsight, where I forgot that I could use the blessing on myself, which would have meant one success, would have got me a 4-inch dodge, which would have got me over to the bear, with plenty of influence left to get tackles and dodges and goal shots. Sigh. So something happens, maybe Fahad moves, and I move up Snow to get within range of Scather. Again, if he doesn't manage to get the knockdown, I just might be able to save her. Hearn goes and singled her out. That's not good. And then I think he does some damage, and I forget to dodge Scather away. Zarola uses Midnight Offering on Cena. If the enemy bear goes in on Scather, I'll be able to get Retribution. If the bear decides to get the first strike in on the bear clash, because it's going to happen at some point, then J-Car's sitting back here to help out. I'll say at this point that despite how I've used it so far, I really like this team for kicking. Scather being up and forward is a massive goal threat, but Zarola can move J-Car up as well, and so then I've got 2 very quick, quite dangerous models up front, and good opportunities to gather momentum. Bad Bear decides to drop the ball off on Veteran Minx, wanders over and pulverizes Scather, again without a knockdown, and look at where he's placed himself. If I'd have remembered Snow, Scather could have dodged away and lived. Just terrible. So my Cena charges his Cena. I don't get the wrap and he counterattacks, so I choose the mauling, knocking Brown Bear away and out of cover and giving it bleed, which is nice, but now my Cena is rather vulnerable. With J-Car sadly out of range, there's not much I can do, so I just put him there to ask the bad hunters the question of do they want to save the ball or take a charge from my Cena. We're going to turn 2. I play Go for the Knees and put the extra attack on Cena just to make that choice extra poignant, and my opponent plays Wingbacks. So Evil Hunters go, and they do go with Minx, and she makes an interesting play. She sprints up the pitch with the ball to engage Cena, my Cena, and puts up her Marked for Death aura. At this point, I waste a lot of time on my clock figuring out what I'm going to do. I was tempted to use my minx to sprint over to this box, try to get in cover, but engage the bear, his bear, so that it can't charge my bear, and see how that goes. Maybe that would have been a good idea. In the end, I just decided to go with Mycena. I hit Veteran Minx a lot and damage her quite badly. His Cena then charges Mycena for 1 AP and it pretty much takes her out. She's knocked down and bleeding and all that good stuff. I then get J-Car into the mix, attacking Evil Veteran Minx, tackling the ball. She dodges out with a counter-attack, and now I'm left with the, should I pass to Zerola and dodge in and make good of the rest of my influence? I decide just to kick the ball out to the wing so Scatha can get it, and seem to have gotten back to the shadows. Theron moves in to finish off Mycena. So 4-0 to evil hunters. Really, they're the good hunters, aren't they? Is it the Sunfather is a good thing and the Winter, it's a bad thing? Who cares? I put my Veteran Minx in to try to finish off his Veteran Minx and really fail to do much. I think I was wanting to try to generate momentum at this point to heal some of my players, and I couldn't even do that. So Scatha grabs the ball, comes back over here to pass a snowball to J-Car to generate momentum to then just at least heal her. Or maybe take the dodge forwards to threaten the goal. I wasn't sure what I was going to do at this point, and I miss. Which sucks, and so I throw a Cold Snap on Theron and Minx and hit Theron. Hearn jumped into his forest, did a few attacks on Veteran Minx, and then walked off clearing some traps. Oh, I remember what I was doing with Veteran Minx. I wanted the momentum to give Zerola the blessing so that she could walk up, make Scatha move, and then Scatha could go and get a goal run. But it obviously wasn't to be. At the end of the turn, this is how we find ourselves. Zerola Midnight Offering bad Cena over to threaten Scatha next turn. And given the mighty momentum lead he's on, that's going to be a thing. So given I'm down on momentum, and I'm going to have a bear coming back in this turn, I play Get Back In There, and my opponent plays Keep Your Chin Up. Evil Cena kills Scatha, 6-0 to the Sunfather Hunters. I forget quite where the ball scatters. I think it scattered somewhere in this area. It wasn't terrible for me. Veteran Minx goes and puts up her Mark for Death aura on the other Veteran Minx and Theron, because they're in her engagement. And with the movement boost, my bear is now well in range. So Theron goes, puts down his forest, and basically runs away like the cur he is. So the roller goes and gets the ball and drops it off to J-Car. Veteran Minx, evil Veteran Minx, gets out of dodge. Away from the bear, actually. She's still within J-Car's melee threat. Not J-Car's melee. Veteran Minx's melee. So J-Car takes a 1 AP charge at her. Bounces off into Theron. Bounces off into Fahad. Pushes Fahad around a bit. Gets to within goal threat. And scores. J-Car is still the man. Seriously, what is this nonsense I keep hearing from people about not putting him in their team? So the score is now 4-6, and the ball gets kicked out a long way over here behind the enemy bear. Unfortunately, there's now no target for Mycena, and so I just move her up to be central and threatening. We go into the next turn, and I play Grudge Match, mostly for the fun of it. My opponent is notorious around our group for his love of killing. This game has been a bit of a car crash, and I think it's time for some fun. And for the added fun, my opponent plays fullback. And he has very much placed his bear within 8 inches of the edge. I bring Scatha back on, really aggressive, right up next to, or quite close to his bear. And so he puts Singled Out on Mycena, I put Singled Out on his Veteran Minx. And so there's Scatha, so tasty and vulnerable, right by the edge. But if he leaves my bear alone, it's going to wreak havoc in his centre. As I have at some point managed to do a decent amount of damage to Theron, although he has healed some of it. The bear makes its choice and goes in and takes out Mycena again, making the score 4-8. J-Car, who's been quite badly bludgeoned by I think Fahad managed to get him and charge him. after it managed to get free, something like that. Yes, but Jacob was really, really badly hurt. He runs around the outside and gut and strings enemy minx, puts some damage on her, dodges away, remembering back to the shadows this time. Theron goes and kills him. 10-4 to the Sunfather Hunters. My veteran minx goes in and finally takes out his veteran minx. Score is now 6-10. His original Hern goes in, knocks down my minx and snares her, does some damage, setting her up. Zarola goes, Midnight offering Scather forwards. Fahad charges in, doing quite a lot of damage. But thanks to J-Car's damage on Fahad earlier, it's not as bad as it could have been. I've been trying to position Snow so that Minx could dodge towards her, but the knockdown stops that. Maybe I could have stood her up first, maybe with Zarola. I can't remember if I had the momentum, or maybe I was just saving it to try to get another goal. Which I do get with Scather, because Scather cannot be stopped. Apart from when I forget her rules. Score is now 10-all! What a comeback! But you will notice that my opponent has the initiative, because he's got tons of momentum, and he's got a bear. And I have a very low health veteran minx who is snared and knocked down and crowded out. So in the first activation of the final turn, Bad Cena just walks up and swats minx. Ending the game 12-10 to Theron Hunters. What a fun game! that score does really not reflect what I deserved out of this game. I played that first turn so badly, so bad. And it wasn't until J-Car pulled out the skill that I really started playing with any quality. And I'll just mention that I think I clocked out around that time. But we played on regardless, or this report would have been very different. But yeah, terrible play by me. I would have been really interested to see how this game would have gone had I got the first turn goal. As Scather can really pick up the points if the enemy struggles to hide the ball, and I think I do like Scather as the one to take in the Hunters mirror matchup. As even Pinned and Goad really don't slow her down if you know what you're doing. So yeah, I liked my squad. I really enjoyed this game. I hope you did too, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.